The rest of them, only thing they can do is bury you and tell you farewell.
That's
But
it.
see, Jesus Christ, He's gonna be there all the way to the end. He's gonna be your salvation, your Savior. So once you realize that and you start thinking with a spiritual mind instead of a physical mind, you see where you're at and what kind of lifestyle God has for you.
Yeah.
And it's amazing,
Yeah.
and a blessing.
It is a blessing, Horace. Stephen, and I'm calling you by your nickname, but that's book 3.
Yes.
Can't kill the horse, but that's for another show. Um, but Stephen, just listening to your testimony about God and how He resurrected so many things in your life, brought you from, because your poems talk about it, growing up from abuse, physical abuse, and growing up just feeling like you were your sister's savior. You were the one who would take the whooping so they wouldn't get in trouble. Just always taking care of someone else. That has been your whole life. But for some way, the enemy just really wanted you to believe that you were nothing. But all your life, really, you have been ministering. When you look at it, even as a little boy, you were still ministering, to keep your, when you and your sisters were in foster care, you were there to take care of them. So you've really always been doing it.
But see, when you're younger, you really can't see.
You
can't see it. And what you're talking about is when we was younger, my sisters, both of them, they was fighting.
Yeah.
And they broke this lamp. It probably cost $2 or $3.
Yeah.
And so they told me to go to the back. And the ones that go to the backyard, that's the ones that ain't gonna get in trouble. But the ones they tell you to stay in there, that's the ones. So I was like, and my sisters, they were crying and everything. So I was like, I got it. And I hadn't did nothing that day.
Right.
So I went out there and got me a brick and throwed it through their car window, through this car window. And so they come out there, why did you throw it through? And it was some choice words. Why did you do, you crazy and all this? And I'm talking about got the beating of my life with bull whips and I'm talking about with everything they could think of, they beat me with it.
Yeah.
And then sent me to the psychiatrist and all that. But the bottom line to that story was that my sisters, after I busted that window, they forgot all about that lamp and they told them to go to the backyard.
Yeah.
So they got a free pass and I took their beating for them. But I mean, that wasn't just one time. I mean, it was like that. It was like that all the time. Yeah, many times. I mean, if they do something, I do something worse. And they was like, they couldn't understand, like, why are you just doing something? And I didn't even tell the psychiatrist because I wasn't gonna let them take my power from me. Because,
right, it's like that, yeah.
Because that's what I had to protect my sisters. And see, so that was, to me, that was my power, that I was already gonna get beat anyway.
Yeah.
So there wasn't no need of, if I could take they beating too, I might as well, because I was gonna get beat anyway. So especially if they messed up, a lot of times I'll get a whooping too, because I was supposed to be watching them. So I might as well just took the whole thing and let them, and that was my mindset, because I didn't want to be there anyway.
Right.
So that and they, not necessarily that all the time that they might have been bad parents or whatever. It's just, I didn't want to be there. So that was conflict from the start. And then I'm protecting my sisters, so that kind of put me in a bind, like when I'm trying to be good and they do something. But I didn't want to see them get whooping or whatever, even though they wouldn't have did them like because they never do them like they did. They whooped them like me or something. They probably whooped them with a switch or something like that. But but for me, they just gave me heck.
Just go out.
But at the same time though, it was like God was taking me like to another place when they was beat. Because after a while, it's like it didn't even hurt.
Yeah.
It just made me more angrier.
Yeah.
But it's like God just took, because like a bullwhip, now that's supposed to just
knock you out,
But it was like, God was not letting even not letting death or nothing like that. Like it was, you know, like Job. He wasn't letting. He said probably told the devil you can do everything to him but kill him.
Right.
And I felt like sometimes I was like Job did. They did everything but kill me.
Yeah.
But in important times, God always put His hands on me and shielded me.
Right. Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just amazing. Even when I was doing dumb stuff,
Yeah.
even when I jumped off the bridge,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah.
like God put His hand on me
Yeah.
and laid me in the water.
Yeah.
And when and I was really playing around,
Mhm.
but either way, I jumped off the bridge. And the only thing I say, oh Lord, I killed myself. But I know by me calling on the name of God, the Lord, that's what saved me. Because you know that should have broke me up.
Right.
But my
Right.
body was red, but like it still wasn't like what it's supposed to be.
What it was
Because
supposed
it
to
was
be.
like it just shut me down in the water, and I had to feel myself to see if I was all right. I mean, but it's just stuff like that the whole time. I mean, through my whole life that I done seen. You know, now that I got the iron sign and the see and got older
Yeah.
and seen this stuff, that I seen that it was God that was there the whole time, even when I thought He wasn't there,
Yeah.
and I thought I was by myself.
Yeah.
Because at one time I thought even God Himself had turned His back on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like that footprints in the sand. Now He's the one carrying you.
Yeah.
But see, you
Yeah.
can't see it. You can't see it at first because you got all this negative stuff.
Right.
But then once you take that layer off,
Mhm.
and then He shows you really what kind of blessing He got on your life. Because I never thought I'd write a book and go to New York
Yeah.
and Kentucky and all that just for a book. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I wanted to do that, but I didn't. After so long, I didn't really think it was gonna be possible anymore. I was doing like the plaques and stuff, and it still was, doing good. But that was like way out of my mind, you know.
Right.
Even when I met you, we was talking to each other because we was Christians.
Right. Right.
And then you said you was a publisher, so
Yeah.
I was like, oh well, I got a book, and so, but see. I know the Lord let me save all that on that website.
Mhm.
You know, that's the reason He kept telling me, save it, save it, save it,
Yeah.
save it.
Yeah.
Because, see, I never knew that I was going to have come and meet you or whatever.
Yeah.
And you actually worked there like long time ago, before that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so even when I was talking to you, like all them weeks and weeks, I never knew you was a publisher. I knew you was a Christian. So
Yeah.
that was the
That
reason.
opened the door.
That opened the
That
doors.
opened the door.
But then when you said you was a publisher, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then you were like, okay, I got your, I'll publish you right now.
Yeah.
And then like 2 or 3 months, or 2 months, I think the book was.
The book was in your hand.
And so that right there, you don't know what kind of blessing you put on my life when you did, because that like opened up whole different doors for me.
Yeah.
And like some of these doors, like some of these same book, the same book that I carried, well, it was in notebook form, but I carried to Washington D.C. and all that, and they didn't really shut the doors on, but they like you got to have it in book form, and you got to have all that. So a lot of the stuff, because you was already an author and a publisher and everything, you opened up a lot of doors that was just, and it was like I was just like amazed, like.
Yeah.
Even when we went to Tupelo, they was like, they opened the door for me for this, come on in, sir,
Yeah.
And it was a whole nother mindset than you used to like, no, you used to hear no.
Right.
And now you have
Now
these
you're
same
saying,
people.
yes. Come on in.
Come on in.
We have a place set for you. Yeah.
And see, and like you was telling me how to talk, how not to talk, what to say when you get around certain people, and
Yeah.
all them things, plus the Lord, it helped me, and even when we went to New York, I seen how they had their books did, and so that kind of, even when we went to Jackson, Mississippi, the same way,
Yeah.
I seen how they had their books, and even up there, you got to talk to people, you got to minister to people,
Yeah.
and see, that's the whole thing, though. If you can like get me set up, you even know this. You get me set up anywhere, I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna tell people about the Lord. That's my main. That's my main focus. Ain't really like, and people don't believe this. I'm like, I don't care if I sell the book or not. They're like, what? I said, my main goal is leading people to Christ. If I can tell you about Christ, and get you saved, well, that's well worth way more than selling that book. Now, if I sell the book, like I said earlier, that's a
Yeah.
plus.
Yeah.
So you don't got your bonus. But when I go to them spots though, that's my main goal is leading people to Christ. That's the only reason I wrote the book to start with,
Yeah.
and to get my mother's attention, you know,
Yeah.
because it was really wrote for my mom to let her know, you know, like I told her, I don't mean it, no disrespect or none of that, but it was just telling her, showing her what I was feeling and what I was going through,
Yeah.
and me and our bond, me and my mama's bond, she's staying with me now, and so our bond is gonna got closer.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah. And I met her at your last book signing.
And so,
Yeah.
and then she even done told me who my dad was and all this
Oh,
stuff
that's good.
stuff that was like getting heated and all this and lies and all this. Finally, all of it came, and it was all because of this. Because she read the book, it was like "Come Back Famous," and she was like, "I didn't know you felt like that," and she started crying. So that right there, that got the gap. And then when I took it, then we was on further than Jackson. I took it to my grandma and my aunt, and they was looking at the book, and they was like, "You know what? This book is about our family." I said, "I've been telling y'all this the whole time."
Yeah.
And they just thought it was something I was writing, some poems and stuff. They never realized until we finally got set down that this book is about our family and about our life.
Right.
And see, they never realized that till like sometime last year.
Yeah.
When we all was sitting there and they was like, they was reading different stuff and they was like, "I remember this, I remember this."
Yeah.
And then when mama said, yeah, she remembered this, and grandma and my aunt, I was like, "Thank you, Lord."
Yeah.
I said, finally, this is who the book was wrote for, and
Yeah.
finally they acknowledged that they understand that this book's for them.
Exactly.
And then as I was reading it to mama, she know I just didn't write it down because it's in a book, you know, so it had to be wrote a long time ago or whatever. So she was more willing to accept that, you know, like that. Okay, this is how he's feeling, and maybe I should have made some different choices.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, if she had it to do over again, she would do, you know, she would make different choices. But
so it was like the book. It's like the book just created this big healing for the entire family.
yeah,
You know, because sometimes you have to look at something from a different perspective for you to realize that this was going on. You know, we were hurting. We needed healing. You know, I need you to know that I was hurting. And I need to know that you were sorry for me hurting. Even if it's now that I'm grown, I just need you to know that I was hurting. And I need you to let me know that it mattered that I was hurting. So it seems like the book just calls the great healing for your family. Because like you said, your mom is actually living with you now, which is great. You get to talk to people about the death of your son, and that helps anyone else that has lost a child, and you overcame that, and you can talk about it now, and you don't even cry. You know, you can
well,
just
sometimes, you know, but like sometimes I do like, but like when somebody is like if they child done died though, most of the time I can go up there but I can tell them without lying, yeah, well, I know how you feel.
right,
And
right.
they'll listen, and it kind of helps them, like different relationships, like if you and your wife, you know, most of the time y'all gonna blame each other, and see that kind of happen, and you know, we blame each other, so we're no longer together, and so you can tell them these things, and maybe they don't have to go through it. That it's not neither one of them's fault, like a miscarriage or whatever. It's nobody's fault.
Right.
You know, the mom or the dad,
It's
and a
something
lot of
that
times
happened.
the men, and I'm speaking for myself too, we don't realize that, yeah, we had the child, I mean, we was part of it, but what the woman actually going through, and it took me a while, and then I had to go back, and this is another thing that God let me do, what made me do.
Yeah.
He made me go back to everybody that I did wrong in the book, that I could find and apologize to them.
Yeah.
Even my stepmom and my stepdad, which he was like, he said, you go back and apologize to them. I was like, Lord, they beat me.
Yeah.
He said, well, and he told me point blank, He says, you want me to forgive you for all the stuff you did, you forgive them. If you don't forgive them, then I'm not going to forgive you.
Yeah.
So that was going to put me right back in hell. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to have to, and that was so emotional just to go up there and have to tell these people that you're sorry for something that I don't felt like now I know I wasn't a perfect child, but like I said, some of that stuff was too extreme.
Yeah.
But even in the book, I made it like, I wrote down like, well, maybe if I didn't get the whooping or whatever, that I'd end up in prison. So, I tried to sugarcoat it as much as I could to save people's feelings, because I was really going to trash them.
Yeah.
Because that was my opportunity. But then God was like, no, that's not going to get you what you want.
Right.
He said, that's just going to make these people hate you more.
Yeah.
So I had to humble myself and come and do it God's way, because he said, we through with this anger way and all we through with this.
Yeah.
He said, when you go up here and you tell them you sorry, you're going to see the whole, and it was like the weight of the world was lifted off of me. It's like, okay, you know what? Okay, I see. It ain't on me no more. So if y'all hate me or whatever, and y'all even wrote in the book, all I can do is say I'm sorry, and if y'all still hate me or whatever, that's on you. And so you need to deal with that yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he let me release all that 30 years of stress and 30 years of anger and frustration and all that. He just let me release it by simply going and telling them people that I was sorry for something I felt like they did.
Yeah.
And I was like, Lord.
Well, Steve, you got a lot of testimony. You got a lot of testimony. I hate to stop you, but because I just felt like God was just letting you witness to the world today.
Yeah.
I just feel like God wanted you to have your way today, and I'm glad that you came on the show. And just before so everyone, this is our author, Stephen Wayne Edwards, and these are his 2 wonderful books, For Your Soul and Soul Searching Sermons. They were published by Liberations Publishing, and it was an honor working with him. You can buy them online, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. There may be some copies still at Barnes & Noble in Tupelo. Turner Flower Shop in Okolona. Okolona Drug. And who else has the books, Stephen, in Okolona?
It's called This and That. It's a clothing store on Main Street.
Okay.
And there's like 2 drugstores in Okolona that's got it. It's like the Okolona Pharmacy. They got it too. So there's like 5 stores in Okolona that's got it. But you can go anywhere down on Main Street in Okolona and get the books. Also at Tupelo and Barnes & Noble.
Exactly. And they're both great reads. Soul Searching Sermons. It's a compilation of Pastor Truman Carter's sermons that Stephen transcribed for him. And For Your Soul is a wonderful book of poetry that is for your soul. The book healed his family, as you heard in his testimony. And I want to thank you again, Stephen, for coming on the show.
I thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome. And you guys, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Jesus said what